As we get closer to November, Donald Trump is experiencing a massive polling surge. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video today. We have to talk about the 2024 presidential election because it appears that Donald Trump is experiencing a massive polling surge. Yeah, that's right. Despite what some Democrats may claim about the current state of the race, we have brand new polling from several polls that all show the same thing. Donald Trump is surging. Now, I want to be clear that this doesn't mean Trump's for sure going to win. I'm not saying that at all. But as of now, it's clear as day that, yeah, Trump has momentum. And as we get closer to November, he is in fact experiencing a surge. I mean, look at this. Tip Insights, which is one of the best pollsters out there, the last few polls they've had, and this is a daily tracker, by the way, it's been a consistent trend. Just a couple days ago, it was roughly Harris plus 4. Then yesterday, it was Harris plus 3. But now, it's Harris plus 2. It's a daily poll. And every single day, the last couple of days, it's a trend towards Trump. It's a small shift, like, okay, a 1-point shift here, a 1-point shift there, but it's consistent. And this is from Tip Insight. For those that don't know, they're one of the best pollsters out there. Now, there are some people saying they changed their methodology, so they could be off the cycle. But either way, Tip Insights is a very good pollster. And the last 3 polls, which again, it's a daily poll, they found a consistent trend. It's trending away from Harris, while Trump is trending upwards. But alright, let's say by some miracle that the trend is a complete fluke, and by the end of next week it stays at Harris plus 2. The problem for Harris is, well, a plus 2 popular vote, that's not enough to win. And that's assuming there's no polling miss, everything's 100% perfect. If it's really Harris plus 2, like Tip Insights is saying right now, that's a Trump win in the Electoral College. And people are not understanding that. Harris plus 2 is not a victory for her. She needs to be up by 3, 4, maybe even 5 points just to maybe win the Electoral College. If it's Harris plus 2, she is losing. That's a big problem, by the way, because even if it's Harris plus 2, it's not enough. But alright, Tip Insights, they're only one poll. Well, we have other ones, like even ActiVote, which I know ActiVote's a very questionable poll. But either way, they released a brand new poll and it's clear as day. It's a trend towards Trump. Just a month ago, they had it Harris plus 5, Harris plus 3. Now, they found Trump plus 2. And even in the past week or so, they found roughly a 1-point shift, which coincides very well with what Tip Insight found. They're finding a shift towards Trump in the last week or so. And again, ActiVote's not the best pollster. I understand that. There's some big questions surrounding them. But let's keep going. Emerson College, a poll that everyone can agree is very good. Their latest poll is Harris plus 0.3, aka a statistical tie. When they say Harris plus 0.3, we just say it's a tied race. Compare that to October 1st, to September 4th, to August 14th. Yet again, another poll that's showing a consistent trend towards Trump. And by the way, it's not just, oh, Harris is going down and that's it. No, Trump is going up. In September, he was at 47%. Now, according to Emerson, he is at 49%. And of course, Harris is going down at the same time, but either way, this is not good for Harris because it's a clear trend. It's been going on for months now. And just like Tip Insight, Emerson College, especially their national polling, tends to be very accurate. And right now, they have the popular vote tied. And it's clear it's shifting not towards Harris, but towards Trump. And that's the biggest takeaway from all these polls. We can keep going. Look at this. You have Fox News, a 4-point shift towards Trump. Yeah, they have a Trump plus 2 now. You have FDU, which is a shitty pollster, but their prior poll was Harris plus 7, and now it's Harris plus 3. That's a 4-point shift in favor of Trump. It's every single poll. It's not just a single pollster showing a shift towards Trump. Every pollster is showing it is a trend towards Trump. He is gaining momentum. And that's a big deal because if you're the Trump campaign, you have to like where you're heading. Because if you're gaining momentum this early in October, when we all know Trump has surges in late October, and that's just a fact. Every year, Trump has this huge surge in the last week or so. But it's not the last week of the election. We are several weeks away from November. Yet Trump, as of now, is clearly surging. It's not just one pollster, it's not just two. Every national poll released the past week or so all show the same thing. A consistent trend towards Trump. Now, does this mean that Trump's going to have a 10-point shift in 2 weeks? No, I am not saying that. No one should expect a crazy surge the last second. Like a 5-point shift or whatever. But the fact is, Trump historically has never surged this early. Every year, it's always a week before Election Day. That's when the polls, by some miracle, show Trump surging at the last second. Every year. But it's the middle of October. And these polls are showing, no, it's not just a 1-point shift in a month. No, it's a several-point shift in 1 month, in a couple weeks even, in the middle of October. When we all know he doesn't surge until late October. He doesn't surge until even till November. This happens every year. Yet he is surging right now. It tells you that he has the momentum. Ignore the top lines for a second. Like FDU, they found Harris +3. You have other ones like Emerson, they still have Harris winning. You know, Active Vote, they have Trump winning. But even Tip Insight, they have Trump losing by 2. And even if you go to the RCP average right now, you have Marist with Harris +5, CBS News, Harris +3, Harris X, Harris +2, etc. But what's important is the trend. It's not just Trump is losing by 2. It's a fact that he is consistently gaining in nearly every single poll. Think I'm kidding? In the middle of September, late September, it was roughly Harris +2, Harris +2, you know, somewhere in that range. Now, it's roughly Harris +1.5. And that's with some clear outliers, like Marist, like Morning Consult. If it wasn't for those two pollsters, more than likely it would probably be maybe Harris +1, maybe Harris +0.5. But even then, you can look at the individual polls and realize that, oh yeah, there's a consistent shift towards Trump. It's not just one pollster showing a 5-point swing towards Trump. It's every poll showing, you know, a 2 to 3 point shift. Maybe a 1-point shift towards Trump. But it's every single poll. But fine. National polling isn't everything. Like these polls, by some miracle, they could magically be overstating Trump. I guess that's a possibility. The problem is, it's not just the national polls. Look at Arizona. Just a week ago, it was Trump +1. And yeah, it's only Trump +1.5, but yet again, there were some big outliers from High Ground Research, the Wall Street Journal, etc. But let's go to other swing states. Wisconsin. Look at this. Just a couple weeks ago, like a month ago, was Harris +2. But now, for the first time in October ever, not just this cycle, but in 2020, 2016, Trump is leading in the RCP average in Wisconsin. I made a whole video on this. This is a big deal. Let's keep going. Michigan. Look at this. A couple weeks ago, it was roughly Harris +2. Now Trump +1. And yet again, there are some big outliers inflating Harris's margin. It should be Trump +1.5, maybe even Trump +2. But you have the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times showing Harris winning. When literally every other pollster, I'm not even kidding when I say this, everyone else, Mitchell Research, Quinnipiac, Fabrizio, Insider Advantage, Trafalgar, everyone is showing Trump is winning. You go to Pennsylvania, same deal. Just a couple weeks ago, Harris +1. Now it's Trump +0.5. Yet again, big outliers inflating Harris's margin. It keeps going. It's not just the national polls, which, you know, national polls aren't everything. It's a state-by-state polls. They're all showing Trump is surging. Not just by 0.25%. A lot of these states, it's like a 3 to 4 point shift in the last week or so. Like, something happened the last week that really caused the polls to shift towards Trump, not by just 0.25%, but several points. It's every poll. Everyone's showing Trump is winning Pennsylvania right now. He's up in Michigan. He's up in Wisconsin. He's up in Arizona. Hell, the national popular vote right now, according to RCP, with some big outliers, is only Harris plus 1.5. If these trends continue, there's a good chance that Republicans could actually win the popular vote. And I'm not predicting that, but look at the recent polling. The recent polling is clear as day. It's a consistent shift towards Trump. I really believe the next week or so, we're going to see some even worse polling for Harris. Because it seems like the last week or so, this campaign, they've gotten nothing but bad news. It seems like that the Harris campaign just imploded the last week. I have no clue what happened, but it's every poll. Every poll is showing Trump plus 2, Trump plus 1, at least in terms of shifting. Trump plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. Every poll. And you got early voting data out of North Carolina, out of Georgia, out of Nevada. It's clear it's a Republican surge, which is good news for Trump. Literally every data point right now indicates Republicans and Trump, they're surging. There is a clear surge. Even Gallup released their brand new party ID poll. And well, look at this. Right now, according to Gallup, it is an R plus 3 electorate. With independent leaners, it's R plus 7. Yeah. R plus 7. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be an R plus 3 environment or even R plus 7, but Gallup is showing the past month or so, there's been a clear trend away from Harris and Democrats and towards Trump. Look at this graph here. Look at this. Just a month ago, it was roughly D plus 4 when you include leaners. Right now, it's R plus 7. That's an 11-point shift. Now, you could argue maybe that's because of response bias, that was a fluke, but you could go back to even July when Republicans, it was clear as day that they were going to win. It was only R plus 6. Yet right now, it's R plus 7. That's more Republican than in July, than in June, than in August. Again, I am not saying it's going to be an R plus 7 environment, but Gallup right now, and by the way, this has been a very accurate tracker for years now, they're finding an R plus 7 electorate when you include independents. And when you don't include independents, it's R plus 3, which is quite possibly the first time in a very long time that in a presidential year, it was a Republican environment. I'm not saying that's for sure going to happen, but these numbers look horrific for Dems. And when you look at the recent polling, it all adds up. People are bailing for the Democrat Party, and they're becoming Republican. They are leaning towards Trump now. Even the early voting is showing Republicans, they're surging, while Democrats, they're completely falling apart. Now, this doesn't mean people should get complacent. I am not saying that at all. But right now, it's clear as day. Trump has the momentum. He is surging at the right time. And a quick reminder that he has never surged this early. Every time he's had his October surge, it was always the last week of October. You know, and of course in November. Every year. He was on the ballot. He had this magical surge at the very last second. But now, he's experiencing the surge in the middle of October. I mean, if trends continue, this could get ugly for Harris real quick. I mean, if Trump has a late October surge like he usually does, they could be in deep trouble. You could be talking about Trump plus 1, Trump plus 2 popular vote. Which I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's what the trends right now, they're starting to indicate. They're indicating that, yeah, Democrats have a huge problem, whether it's the Gallup Party ID poll, whether it's just national polling, swing state polling, everything is trending away from Harris and the Democrat Party. We'll see what happens in a week or so because maybe this was a fluke, but it's nearly every single poll and every metric showing the same deal. A surge for Trump and a Harris collapse. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.